this, lads. But it's been revealed with Sophie Cunningham. Fever Wing Sophie Cunningham was fined twice for behaviour at the end of the clash, but her misconduct appears to be already paying dividends. She received a $400 fine, as well as an additional undisclosed penalty for her role in the shoving match that followed. It's probably not more than $1,000.
Marina Marbury shoves Caitlin Clark to the ground after she's slashed in the eye by one player, rushed by another. Like, I can clearly see why some of y'all teams in the WNBA are just not successful, bro. Like, y'all don't know how to act. We just gonna call it for what it is. Y'all don't know how to act. Like, there's basketball stuff, and then there's just completely playing.
Now everybody knows who Sophie Cunningham is. Everybody wants a piece of Sophie Cunningham. Her jersey is the #1 selling jersey in the WNBA. Sold out. Now, why is that significant? I'll tell you. Because her jersey surpassed the all-time woman, Caitlin Clark. The most popular woman ever in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark, got her jersey surpassed by Sophie Cunningham. Why? Because Sophie Cunningham stood up for Caitlin Clark. She did all of these...
Sophie Cunningham just got the boot from the WNBA, but the aftermath, oh, it's pure chaos. It started with a scuffle. Sophie Cunningham, Fever Wing and known fight starter, was slapped with a $400 fine plus an additional undisclosed penalty for her role in the post-game chaos. It probably didn't exceed $1,000, but the fallout, priceless. The WNBA may have thought ejecting Sophie would calm the storm like kicking the loudest girl out of a sleepover, but instead, they accidentally sparked a full-blown fan rebellion. That fans didn't cry. They didn't complain. They retaliated. 225-style. Sophie Cunningham's jersey instantly became the hottest item in women's basketball. It sold out everywhere. Resale sites swamped. Prices skyrocketed like she was headlining Coachella. Why? Because Sophie did what fans had been screaming for someone to do. She stood up for Caitlin Clark. In a game that saw Marina Marbury shove Caitlin Clark after Clark had already been slashed in the eye and rushed by multiple defenders, Sophie didn't stay silent. She didn't stand still. She defended her teammate, and for that she was punished. But that punishment turned into promotion. Cunningham's jersey outsold the biggest name in the league, Caitlin Clark herself. Let that sink in. The most hyped rookie in WNBA history, the face of women's basketball, just got overtaken on the merch charts by someone who wasn't even supposed to be part of the storyline. Sophie Cunningham went from role player to revolutionary. She became a symbol not of chaos but of loyalty, of guts, of backbone. In a league where players are expected to behave, Cunningham did what leaders do. She protected her own. The fans saw it, and they loved it. Even Sophie seemed surprised. When asked about the explosion in popularity, she kept it grounded. I'm just trying to keep the main thing, basketball. I'm locked in trying to hit my shots, execute the plays. All the other stuff, that's for the fans. But here's the kicker, all of this happened in less than a week. The WNBA tried to make an example out of Sophie Cunningham and accidentally they tried to make an example out of Sophie Cunningham, ended up making her a legend. Look, I love Sophie Cunningham. Why? Because she did what any real teammate is supposed to do. Where I come from, sports are about unity, about having each other's backs, about saying, if you come for one of us, you come for all of us. That's what Sophie did, and for that, she got punished. Let's be real, Caitlin Clark has been getting abused on the court. Slashed in the eye, shoved to the floor, grabbed, poker to name it. She's been targeted like she committed a crime just for being good. And what did Sophie do? She didn't throw punches, she didn't scream, she didn't incite a riot. She simply stood up. And somehow, that's more offensive to the league than the cheap shots flying around every quarter. The WNBA acted like she stole someone's Gatorade cooler or dropkicked the mascot the way they hauled her off the court. But all she did was support her teammates, something the league clearly has no playbook for. Her punishment, ejection. The response, a fan revolution. Sophie's jersey didn't just sell, it vanished. Fans bought every last piece of Sophie merch like it was limited edition gold. Why? Because buying that jersey became a protest, a message, a rallying cry that screamed, you might silence her on the court, but we're putting her name on every... Back from here to Tokyo, it was fashion as defiance, retail as rebellion, and the league. They lost control of the narrative in real time. Sophie Cunningham didn't just become a symbol, she became a brand. She didn't play dirty. She didn't talk trash. She stood tall, defended a teammate, and somehow that got her benched. Meanwhile, players flinging elbows like they're in a bar fight stay in the game. Players targeting Clark like it's a bounty mission, not even a whistle. If staying composed is now a technical foul, then Sophie's doing life in solitary. But, you know what? The fans weren't fooled. They didn't wait for a press release. They didn't need a league apology. They needed that jersey, because it wasn't about polyester and thread. It was about giving the finger to a system that disciplines the defenders and protects the chaos agents. Every Sophie jersey sold was a vote of no confidence in league leadership. It was a rebellion, a receipt that said, "We see through this." Sophie's name wasn't just on a stat sheet, it was on receipts, headlines, and the hearts of fans fed up with WNBA hypocrisy. She didn't escalate, she existed, and for that, she was erased. But the story didn't end there. Between JC, Sheldon, Sophie Cunningham, and the Fever, it's crystal clear. This team is done being silent. They're fed up. Fans are fed up. And once again, WNBA headlines aren't about basketball, they're about the circus. The league refuses to stop running. This whole thing, it started because the league failed to protect its players, failed to act when Caitlin Clark was clearly targeted, and instead of owning it, they tossed out Sophie like she crashed a royal banquet. But she didn't fade away. She blew up. Her jersey didn't just break records, it rewrote them. Sophie might have left the game early, but her impact played all 4 quarters and then went into overtime. She's now the face of quiet resistance, of unapologetic loyalty, of "no, I won't sit down while my teammate gets mauled like she owes someone money." The league's message was clear: conform or face consequences. But the fans had a different one. Not today. Solidarity turned into streetwear, a foul turned into a movement. And Sophie Cunningham, she became the spark the WNBA never saw coming. No speeches, no hashtags, just one click, one jersey. A subtle but stylish middle finger to a league that clearly thought nobody would notice, but they did, or they noticed. And now, every time someone walks into an arena wearing a Sophie Cunningham jersey, it's not just about repping a player, it's about rewriting the rules. It's a walking protest, a stitched-up reminder to the WNBA that fans are wide awake. They're done being silent. If standing up for a teammate gets you thrown out, then fine. Make room, because Sophie's got an entire stadium backing her up now. And meanwhile, the league's tap dancing on the edge of irrelevant, swearing clown shoes. The WNBA has become a casserole of chaos, bad decisions, missed moments, and a never-ending highlight reel of Caitlin Clark being tossed around like she wandered into a street fight during warm-ups. Let's break it down. Fast break. JC Sheldon flying toward the hoop. And Sophie Cunningham right there, stride for stride. She commits a foul, a hard one. Arms wrapped around Sheldon to prevent an easy layup. Classic playoff-level basketball. Was it physical? Sure. Was it malicious? Not even close. She didn't slam her, didn't throw her, didn't body check her into the floor. She made a hard stop and got hit with a narrative sledgehammer. Let's be honest. This was supposed to be the season where things changed. The Caitlin Clark era. Season 2, a fresh vibe, some overdue respect, but instead, the chaos has intensified. More elbows, more slaps, more accidental bumps. Caitlin can't even get through to possessions without being used as a crash test dummy. She gets pushed more than a broken grocery cart on a downhill slope. This isn't grit. This isn't toughness. It's reckless. It's excessive, and it's targeted. And the WNBA, the league that should be protecting the future of its brand, they're watching it like it's a nature documentary. Just letting the predators circle. Caitlin Clark is a walking brand deal, a ratings magnet. She's brought more eyes to the league than any player in a decade. But instead of elevating her, they've turned her into the league's favorite punching bag.